Hey Data Factory fans, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching the video. This video is going to introduce you to, inside of Microsoft Fabric Data Factory, we have enabled Azure Blob Storage event triggers inside of data pipelines. And so let's jump right into it and introduce these to you. On the design canvas, you see I have a very simple pipeline created, and there's now a trigger button. It's next to the schedule button, and as opposed to the way we did things in the EDF, these are separated. Your schedule is how you will have a wall clock scheduler for your automated runs of your pipeline, or if you want to invoke your pipeline when a file arrives or a file is removed, or other types of events, you can use trigger. We'll be enabling more event types in the future. You'll notice that I explicitly called out Azure Blob Storage Accounts triggers for this initial set of our capability here, because we are enabling the file arrival, the file deletion capabilities that we have in ADF storage triggers, and we're enabling that here inside of Fabric first. Then we'll bring all the other types of Fabric and even more. All right, so enough of that. Let's click on the trigger button and see what we get. Now you're going to get this panel that flies in, and we implemented things differently than we did in ADF and Synapse. We are using all Fabric native capabilities. So this panel is actually representative of a reflex object that's known as an alert. So this is how we line up with data pipeline triggers. So what you have to do is, because we are enabling the Azure storage account events, we need to have an event subscription created to talk to your storage accounts, your ADLS to Gen 2 and your Blob store. So to do that, we use what's known as an event stream, another Fabric workspace artifact that's part of the real-time analytics. We'll do all that for you. All we want you to do is to click on monitor certain events, and you first tell us where is your storage account that you want to connect to. And then what you'll see right here, we give that what's known as an event stream name, because that's going to make that connection. So I'm going to make this simple for the demo. I already have one created called it's called Mark ADLS Gen 2. On the next screen, what's really cool is you'll be able to select the type of events that you want to listen to, and you'll see we've already enabled more than we had inside of ADF and Synapse. Whereas ADF has just the create and delete of files, you have all these different events that occur on your storage accounts that you can listen for to invoke your pipeline. Just imagine all the things we're going to be able to enable as we bring in things like Fabric Workspace events and other OneLake events and those kinds of things. Database events, you'll be able to listen to all those to invoke your pipelines. If you want to listen for only certain files by name or by type, you'll use the subject field here inside of this filter, because you're going to be filtering on the actual event subject. So you click next, and then this is going to create a trigger for you. It's going to create all those dependent objects that are needed within Fabric to do that for you. One last thing I want to do is I want to say I'm activating my pipeline, move my face out of the way, and we're going to give this a name. I'll give this a new name here for this demo, and I will call this my video, and we'll click on create. So that's going to create all those dependent objects, and then when this is done, you're going to have your trigger for your pipeline. Now to test this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple files into my storage account. I'm going to delete some files, and then you'll see the pipeline get invoked when those things happen. So let's go over to my storage Explorer. Okay, I'm dropping a new file in here called data16. So there's a new file that arrived. And at the same time, let me go ahead and delete an old file that was in there called data17. And then we'll switch back over to the pipeline view. From the pipeline view, I click View Run History, and you'll see these two new events have been already picked up by Event Stream, sent to Reflex, triggering, invoking my pipeline twice, once for the file arrival, once for the file delete. Now, a really common thing to do that you've done in pipelines before, if you're coming from ADF or Synapse, is you want to capture the names of those files that were created or deleted. And you can do that by using a mechanism very similar, but it's a little bit easier inside of Fabric. So inside of the set variable, I have an example of that. You'll see that I'm setting a variable I call file name to the name of the file that arrived from my events. There is a new area, a new tab here within the expression builder inside of Fabric Data Pipelines, and it's called Trigger Parameters. These are all done for you. So we will parse out the file name and folder path from the event coming. You don't need to set up parameters or anything like that. These are built-in parameters, not user defined. So you just select what you want, file name or folder path. I selected file name, and then when I look at that run, so let me go back to View Run History, and let's take this one here. And if I click on the output from that, you'll see that it was the data17 file that was read. And that's all I had to do, nothing else. So that's a quick introduction to storage event triggers inside of Fabric Data Factory data pipelines. And thanks for watching.